On a wet night time a person wears plastic gloves and a plastic match on his frame. His aim isn't to live dry with the aid of using defensive himself from the rain, however instead now no longer depart a clue in the back of. In some seconds a person walks in the back of his automobile keeping an umbrella and wearing his bags. The hitman walks out of the automobile and stabs the person a couple of instances earlier than setting him in the automobile's trunk. The hitman receives again into the driver's seat and eliminates his match, revealing his face. The hitman Hyang Wook takes a study his watch and drives away while the time is proper as he leaves every other guy seems and drags the dead man's bags away. The following morning every other younger guy named John considers finishing matters for himself. He's a failed actor who has no cash and no one loves him, so what right existence is. As he is ready to do it, his landau knocks on his door announcing that she has delivered a few noodles for him. Jae-sun attempts to disregard her, however he cannot withstand a few meals proper now. While he opens the door the land female begins off-evolved scolding him for now no longer paying the lease of path. She simply used noodles as a trick to persuade him to open the door. The landau asks him to pay the hire till the following day, otherwise she can be able to evict him. She additionally tells him to take a tub due to the fact he stinks. The younger guy shuts the door closed and proceeds together along with his plan. However then he thinks to himself that he can die even as he's grimy. Perhaps he ought to easy himself first, after which die in peace. Jae's visits a public SAA and there he meets Hyang, who has additionally visited the SAA to clean the blood off his watch and rancid his garments. However considering that he's there he can additionally take a tub himself. Jae Solar takes a observe his easy and high-priced watch and assumes that this guy ought to be wealthy. Jae-sun begins off-evolved showering first even as Hyang enters the SAA. A piece later, in a recreation of fate, Jae-sun by chance drops his cleaning soap. As H enters the SAA he steps at the cleaning soap and actually flies with inside the air. Then he falls to the floor, hits his head and drops subconscious. The important thing to his locker slides at the floor and arrives proper on Jae-sun's foot. Jae-sun processes him in conjunction with the alternative men gift to test on him. He bends over his frame to permit the important thing to his locker subsequent to H. However then he begins off-evolved having a few second mind approximately it rather than touching H's key down. Jae-sun offers him his very own key, essentially switching the keys. Whilst grasp is taken away, Jae Solar is going to the locker room and opens Hyang's locker. The younger guy takes complete gain of what he reveals with inside the locker. For starters he wears Hyung healthy and leaves the general public SAA with it. Then he is going return to satisfy his landau and will pay all the lease he owes her. After her he repays all of the human beings he has borrowed cash from sitting in Hyang's highly priced vehicle. Jae-sun wonders if that is all a dream and if he goes to awaken quickly. Anyways he thinks to himself that this isn't the proper manner to extract his lifestyles due to the fact none of these items belong to him. JS makes a decision to visit the clinic to offer lower back the whole thing that belongs to H. Whilst he receives there, he hears Hyang speak me his call. However in fact Hyang is simply announcing the call he believes is his due to the fact the medical doctors are announcing that is his call because it seems Hyang is stricken by amnesia. Jae Solar feels awkward approximately all of this and he simply runs away. Whilst it's time for Hyang to depart the clinic he realizes he has no cash to pay the invoice. A woman paramedic referred to as Lena takes pity on him and makes a decision to pay his invoice so as to hold him out of problem. Even though Grasp has no concept who he's or what he does for a residing, he guarantees Lena that he goes to pay her lower back. Lena additionally offers him a trip whilst she asks him approximately his call and his age. Younger has no concept how old he's and takes a examine his papers in step with them. He's simply 32 years. Antique Lena is amazed due to the fact he seems a piece older. However that's what the papers say. With inside the intervening time Jae-sung unearths Hyung's rental and enters the steeply priced compartment. The younger guy isn't used to any of this due to the fact he has been negative during his lifestyles. While he enters the rental it's miles even larger than he had imagined. As he walks round he unearths numerous uniforms belonging to hold. A number of them are navy uniforms whilst some others are police uniforms. On the equal time Lena takes Hyang to his rental that's in reality John's rental and what they locate is a large mess. Hyang cannot even trust how he can stay in a residence like this. Lena gets a name on her radio approximately in coincidence and he or she has to depart. Hyang does now no longer need her to depart without paying her again. However the paramedic says they are able to join up once more so Hyang will pay her again with inside the spacious rental. Jae-sun Attempts to show the TV on, however what he sees shocks him as an alternative. Looking at TV channel, he begins off evolved looking a stay video of one and all his associates Unju doing a little yoga. In the meantime Hyang attempts to discover greater facts approximately himself, and he begins off evolved speak me to his associates with inside the terrible community. He begins off evolved knocking on their doorways to invite them questions on himself, however none of them wishes to speak to him due to the fact they assume he's a salesman. Then he stumbles on a random indignant man with inside the hallway and begins off evolved asking him questions. The person is irritated and assaults Hyang, however he gets his however hooped. Hyang instinctively makes use of his frame to guard himself and wonders how he can try this. Later Lena comes to a decision to test on him, however unearths him choking at the floor because it seems Hold is attempting to smoke a cigarette, however he's having a tough time doing so. Lena wonders if he's honestly a smoker, even as Hyang replies that he assumed so due to the fact he discovered such a lot of cigarettes on this condo. Even as she spends a while with him, Lena realizes that H is right with knives, so she takes him to her aunt's eating place. The aunt does now no longer need to rent him, however Lena asks her to accomplish that as a op to her. Thean is of the same opinion to rent him finally, however tells him that he has to extrade the manner he talks. Similarly he have to begin smiling greater due to the fact he would possibly scare their clients off in any other case. In Hyung's actual condo, Jae-sun maintains examining the residence, and he unearths even greater coins mendacity round alongside a few costly wines. However then he additionally unearths a huge series of guns, faux IDs and pretend passports. On pinnacle of that he unearths a board with numerous clues on Unju while he hears a few noise on a few police radios Hyang has in his condo. Jae-sun assumes that Hyang is a cop. Maximum probable Unju is in a witness safety application and Hai is in fee of her protection. The younger guy attempts to discover wherein she lives and knocks at the doorways of numerous apartments. As he's not able to locate her, he returns to his personal condo. Whilst he switches the TV on, he sees Unju via the cameras, and she or he is rehearsing something. She pretends to hit herself on her head and falls to the floor as she rehearses this flow. Jae-sun realizes that a noise is coming from the room upstairs in order that ought to be wherein the female is residing. Jae-sun knocks on her door and tells her that he's her neighbor. He desires to get pleasant together along with her and tells her that they ought to greet each other after they meet. However Unju desires to put off him and kindly closes the door with inside. The period in between Hyang does nicely with inside the eating place wherein he's running, and his talents make him a very good cook. Music. In truth he begins off evolved attracting many new clients due to the fact anybody is impressed with the stuff he creates. Lena returns domestic with him and we could him recognize that he goes to receives a commission at the 25th day of every month. Hyang takes a study his calendar at the wall, however Lena says that proper now it's miles depicting the preceding month. Whilst Lena leaves, Hyang turns the calendar web page and realizes that he has a few vicinity to be day after today. Whilst he is going to that area he sees a man going for walks via a listing of names and setting anybody right into a van. Hai Younger asks the person wherein they're going and the latter replies that they're going to paintings. In truth those human beings are actors who are going to the set. Considering that Y has taken John's location in lifestyles, he's the only who is going to paintings as an actor, but he makes many errors at the set and he's kicked out someplace else. Jae-sun is following Unju to make certain she is secure. Anun visits her mom on the medical institution and tells her that she goes on a journey. As she walks via the hallways Yunu sees something that scares her and begins off evolved on foot with inside the contrary route. Jae-sung sees her as he also sees a person following her. He remembers this guy from H's board and comes to a decision to do so, taking Yunu to cover her with inside the automobile parking space while they're secure. Jae-sun pretends that he thinks that guy became a stalker on the movie set. Hyang receives paid for the day and springs up with the concept to test the information the manufacturer has on him. He unearths his meant father's call and visits him on the barber keep. He's strolling while he does the barber is speak me with a purchaser and speaking approximately the actual Jong. Hai Younger misunderstands their interplay and believes they're speaking approximately him who need to be the barber's son. Disenchanted at what he hears them pronouncing, he comes to a decision to depart. Hold tells Lena that he observed out he became seeking to grow to be an actor for the duration of his lifestyles earlier than the coincidence. He states that he turns into extra critical approximately it finishing up turning into a well-known famous person. In the meantime Yunu gathers her stuff and walks to the facet of the street together along with her bags, but no person seems. She returns lower back to her rental and wonders if she were given the date incorrect. Maybe she is meant to be obtainable the subsequent Thursday. The following day Hold begins off evolved and excessive actor schooling after making his personal plan, and he's quickly prepared to offer it one greater shot on the movie set. He is meant to play the bodyguard of the principal person despite the fact that he can stand again while he sees the motion unfolding, and he receives worried. The director processes him after he cuts and asks him for his call. He younger apologizes because he believes he simply ruined the scene. However, the director clearly likes him and desires to use his combating abilities. The subsequent Thursday Unju is out on the street once more. However, the man or woman she is looking forward to does now no longer seem. While it's time for Hyang to mention a line throughout his subsequent taking pictures, he has problem remembering it because the director tells the cameras to roll. Hyang simply speaks phrases of the sentence he is meant to mention. The director loves the effect of the manner gives you the one's phrases, after which has him take part in a combating scene. Hai Younger does thoroughly in his collection episode, quickly performs on TV. Numerous clients with inside the eating place see him and that they need to take images with him because the days pass via way of means of Jae-sun processes Unju and step by step earns her agree with. In fact, the two of them begin constructing a bond and recognize that they likely like each other. As for he quickly attends the taking pictures of the collection subsequent episode. However, the big name actor has made a telecell smartphone name to the movie's manufacturer to extrade the tale in a manner that favors him. While the episode airs, the clients watch it with inside the relaxation eating place and that they marvel why the tale is unfolding in a bizarre manner. That night time one of the telephones in HS actual condo earrings, and Jae-soo makes a decision to choose up the voice at the telecell. Smartphone wonders why he picked up as they have got agreed to depart voice messages in preference to immediately speak me at the telecell. Smartphone anyhow the person at the telecell smartphone says they should meet. Jae-sung wears shades and a mask and attends a assembly with some guys. The guys are very cautious due to the fact they agree with this guy is an infamous murderer. They tell him that he becomes speculated to kill at the 25th of the preceding month. However, the date is a bit past due. Additionally, they inform him that he must hurry up to finish his project due to the fact if Runa turns to the prosecutor matters becomes extra complex. On the identical time a effective guy is taking note of the communique while Jae-sun leaves the assembly. He tells certainly considered one among his guys to observe him with a view to analyze, in which Mjo is Jae's returns domestic type of irritated now that he is aware of Hyang is definitely a hitman and now no longer a cop. Hyang is performing for the following episode of the collection whilst the big-name actor is jealous of him and hits him at the head. For actual Hold receives up irritated. However, he nonetheless asks if the take become K more than one. Nights later Jae-sun follows him round. However, Hai traps him and forestalls him. Nonetheless, he asks Jae-sun if he's a fan and offers him an autograph. In his profession, Hyang is going through a piece of a war as he isn't top with love scenes. To cope with this, he asks Lena to kiss him and act with him. Lena attempts to make him bear in mind of a second he felt love in his coronary heart, and Hyang describes a time approximately a month in the past while he went lower back to the eating place after capturing his first few scenes. Lena smiled at him and informed him that she became involved approximately him with that stated. The two of them kiss and Hyang acquires a higher information of his feelings, therefore he's capable of act properly with inside the love scene. On Thursday Unju became out on the road once more. However, this time Jae-sun makes a decision to technique her. He says that he's a cop who is meant to look at over her. However, he has fallen in love together along with her for actual and he needs them to be collectively. The wealthy businessman sees the pics of them and tells his men to discover them and kill each of them. The following day Hyang has a time without work and he asks Lena and her own circle of relatives to head on a picnic. They've an incredible day collectively and Kling even gazes on the sky even as he utters that he likes this existence. However, that night time as they force again the heavy rain and a selected music gambling at the radio begin reminding Hyang of his vintage existence. He recollects he's a murderer even as glimpses of the beyond play out in his head. Kling is going to peer Unju. However, JS believes he's right here to kill her and attempts to forestall him. But Hold overpowers him without difficulty. No matter this, Hold explains that he isn't an actual killer, however instead a person who makes each facets glad. Whilst he receives an order to kill anyone he contacts the sufferer and informs them approximately their loss of life agreement. Hold indicates to them that he can assist them for their deaths and manual them into beginning a brand new lifestyles. All the sufferers consider him due to the fact they recognize that their different choice is loss of life. Yang did the identical factor with Inju. Anyone employed him to kill her due to the fact she has a flash force that a effective businessman desires to get lower back hold. Tells Enju that she wishes to go away the United States of America, however she won't do it until Jae's son is going together along with her due to the fact he is likewise in chance. Now the younger guy claims that his lifestyles has no importance, however Yang remarks that his barber father may have a unique opinion whilst he convinces Jae's son that his lifestyle subjects hold. Publicizes that the three of them must die collectively and take it from there. To make this be successful, they need to supply the overall performance of their lives. In any other case, different killers will move after them and dispose of them without a hint. Hold has a very last communicate with Lena to inform her that his recollections have back and he's main. He claims he isn't the person she believes he's and he has to go away for her personal excellent. Lena tells him that he's irresponsible and announces that his antique lifestyles does now no longer hobby her. The two of them component methods, however Lena is curious to look wherein H goes, so she hops with inside the ambulance and begins off. Evolved following him quickly. Heen arrives on the warehouse wherein the whole lot goes down. Jae's son seems first with Inju. Even as the businessman and his guys are looking, he pretends that he simply made the woman fall for him so she ought to believe him. Then he pretends to kill her and tosses the flash force to the terrible men as one of the ducks to seize it. Hung seems the guys marvel who he's, however they quick comprehend he's one of the different killers they lease. In reality, all of the messages they dispatched to different killers they employed to kill Unju and Jaesung ended up on a number of him's telephones. The two meant killers begin combating, giving an awesome overall performance. Sooner or later they stand on a few spots marked with an X even as Unju receives up retaining a controller in her hand. However then matters crossed sideways.